Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sunday night's the IGP Super Formula Lights League final round from Monza. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Edward Hunter, who's going to come along for the ride. Let's have a look at the championship. Top 20, as always. Lee Aberdeen, 383. Tony Jimenez, 372. That could all change, especially as Lee Aberdeen is not here this evening. We've got a final tally of points for him. We think it's going to be 4-4-1, but we will play and see how it comes out. We'll wait for the official results after the race as well, because drop rounds right up, basically should be right up to the end of the season. Tony Jimenez, 372. He needs a win today as well, so we're going to keep an eye out and see how he gets them. Currently sitting in third place in qualifying. Ludovic Rancon is in third with Andy Flint, Mehmet Taski, Kevin Swepster, Denny Cornu, Julio Palacio, Baden Ayan, Jimmy DeSantos, Brad Fulliger, Robert Ridgway, Adam Townsworth, Scotty Taylor, and Richard Van Veen. Alexi Yukish, Simon Fessi, Dorian Aruro, Koji Io sneaking into the top 20, and Eddie Amos on 202. Let's bring Ed into the booth. Ed, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Good, thanks. It's been a long weekend of commentary, and I think we've got a bit more to do before it's over then. But yeah, interesting championship fight between Lee Aberdeen, of course, isn't here, and Tony Jimenez, who has got a chance to catch him. But of course, Tony Jimenez, his worst two results are third and fifth. He's taken 2 poles so far this season, yet to convert any of them to victory. So he wants to wrap it up in style, and that way, if he wins, basically, mathematically, it doesn't matter what Jimenez does, because he's got nothing more to do, given his absence. So it's really everybody else that he's got the race against, unless Lee Aberdeen makes a surprising last-minute reappearance, which doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. But there's quite a bit of competition here that could prove a headache, not least Brad Fulliger. I remember last season at Silverstone, Brad Fulliger had a great fight with Tony Jimenez. At the moment, he's just pipped Tony Jimenez's best time in practice by, a 100th of a second, I think. So, yeah, that's certainly a statement of intent from the Englishman. But yeah, quite a lot of drivers that are looking to impress us tonight, a little bit further down the field as well. So, yeah, it's not just about the championship fight, it's about setting yourself up for next season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's going to be the interesting situation that we're going to have here, and see how these guys get on once more. But it's going to be interesting to see around Monza, of course. The briefing for this evening, 26 laps, purple zone after the Variante, which is turn number 1. The chicane that they then can start actively overtaking after that turn. So that will be it right the way through as well. 26 laps. It's going to be an interesting one, because they're doing 141s at the moment, so it could be quite a sort of fast race. How do they go about dealing with Monza? Because it's an interesting racetrack.
It is. It's certainly not the typical track you'd expect, because there's long straights, there's these chicanes where you've really got to ride the curves, particularly into Della Roggia, the second chicane, but even also into the Variante Alta as well, the first chicane. You've really got to ride the curves properly to get the most out of it. And then Ascari, where you've sort of almost got to flirt with the edge of the gravel, especially midway through on the apex, just to make sure you're not washing out wide and giving away crucial 0.5 of a second here and there in qualifying particularly. But even in the race, it turns into a slipstreaming battle, particularly on some of the straights. The start-finish straight, the run into the old Parabolica Alboreto, and even into Ascari can be an overtaking opportunity as well if you get a good run out of Lesmo too as well. So there's a lot of challenges to consider. It's also a race where if there's an accident and you tangle with someone, it tends to be quite a high-speed accident as well. So you have got to watch where you're pointing those wheels, because one little mistake, one little misjudgment at high speed, and it could be a spectacular ending, and not the ending you'd want to your race.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I was just sat here doing maths. Now, guys at home, please be aware that commentators doing maths on the fly while we're commentating doesn't always work out right. Now, I've got Lee Aberdeen, even with this 0 drop round. So currently at the moment, Lee will drop basically a 0 and 19 points, okay? So that's his score. So at the moment, he'll have 383, but he'll add 41 on top of that. Now, that would be 424 will be his score. Tony Jimenez's drop rounds at the moment are basically valued at the point schedule of 24 and 38. that's what he'll drop. Billy will add 43 if he goes and takes the win today. Now, I've got it as, regardless if he wins, he's only going to be on 4-1-5. I don't think Tony Jimenez's drop rounds are going to be strong enough to stop him not winning this title. I think Lee Aberdeen is not here due to the fact that he thinks he believes, and by me doing maths again at home, take it with a pinch of salt, he can't lose this championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the raw statistics, let's have a look at it. It's 6 wins this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
From the 11 rounds we've had so far. And then he's had 4 second places and a third place to boot as well. So it's really only one race so far, which I think is Mugello. He drops because I don't think he turned up to that one either. Oh, no, he did set the fastest lap at Mugello, didn't he? So I think he just didn't finish in the top 3 there.
Yeah, it'll be Mount Panorama that would be added. So he'll drop 19 and 0, but he'll add 41. So that's, as I said, 4-2-4. Let's bring you up the grid, ladies and gentlemen, because we have come to the end of qualifying. It's Brad Fulliger taking pole with Tony Jimenez in second. Chris Patel in third, then a little bit rank on in fourth with Andy Flint and Yunus Amal fifth and sixth. Justin Carrizosa in 7th, Mehmet Taski 8th, 7 Dodder, Robert Ridgway, Beard and Ayan and Denny Cornu. All Unity race, it'll be Beard and Ayan from Turkish iRacing and Denny Cornu. They've been locked in some horns this season. It's going to be interesting to see how they go. Julio Palacio and Koji Ito, Justin Fields and Andrzej Waskowski, Scotty Taylor, John McKenzie, Richard Van Veen and Eddie Amos, Adam Townsburg, George Taylor, Ben Goyer and Matthew Gracie in 24th, then Clark Williams, Alex Hopkins, Dorian Aruro, No Richie Robinson, Alexi Yukish, Scotty Haddock, SM Mameni and Christian Vega are going to round off the grid. We're just waiting for everybody to get on to the grid here as well. Tony Jimenez was on the grid, he's now jumped back off. Brad Fulliger, our pole man, has just jumped onto the grid, which is always good to see. So interested to see how these guys are going to get on here. I think for Tony Jimenez, it's just go out, do your best, see what you can produce and hope it works. But let's see what goes on here for Tony, how he gets on, because he's got to overturn Mr. Brad Fulliger from the Ridgeway Racing Team UK with Chris Patel in third, a little bit rank on. Those times are close. They are close. They were close in qualifying. I expect them to be close in the race as well. Just waiting for the last couple to get onto the grid. They have got onto the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, the final round of the season is 4 lights, 5 lights deep. We are now green, 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 and the interesting dynamic does not start until we get down into turn 1, where everybody will make it through, or they should effectively make it through cleanly without any dramas. It's then coming out to Koji Ito's got a black flag for jumping the start by the looks of it as well. No other reason why he wouldn't have a black flag, but now we're up and racing and we are green, green, green. It does look like Alexi Yukish has made some mistakes. Sorry, as Weskowski as well. But most people got away cleanly as we're on our run down into turn number 2 here as well. Through the variante here, Della Roggia coming into the left-hander, and it is Brad Fulliger who's leading the way.
Yeah, exactly as he would want. Neither Fulliger or Jimenez have won a race this season. I don't think Fulliger has ever won. His best result was second earlier this season. Oh, big crash in the background. Yellow car flown into the air. I think that might have been Dodderer or Ahayan in a little bit of trouble as Denny Cornu gets into the top 10 there. So not a clean Della Roggia chicane on the first lap as expected. Everyone bunched together, and that's allowed the top 6, top 7 to break away from the rest of the pack.
But then it's been off the circuit as well. There's been more dramas down ahead, but it is Tony Jimenez and Brad Fulliger for the first run here. Through Ascari going to come up into the curve of Michele Alboreto Parabolica, or just a Parabolica as we know it. Jimenez is going to put Fulliger on the outside. He wants that inside line, does Tony. He's not slotting in though, which is quite a mistake, I think. He is looking at taking the lead right at the beginning here, Ed, and I'm just wondering, is there going to be some form of tyre saving, because he definitely doesn't need to do it for fuel.
Yeah, well, doing that sort of opened the door a little bit for Chris Patel, but luckily Patel has got Ranson, the Frenchman, right behind to deal with then, as again, Fulliger, as expected, sets the fastest lap at the end of the first lap, but look behind Ranson, going side by side for third position. Jimenez positions himself to the outside into the first chicane, breaks super late, and this is his attempt to snatch the lead, but it's not successful. Fulliger extends the corner, extends the braking zone, covers it off. Ranson, though, up to third behind them, and he could be a big threat now to Jimenez.
Yeah, it could well be as well. Tony Jimenez under attack from Ludovic Rancon, going down through the right-hander now as well, coming into the Della Roggia. Who's going to be able to make it? Jimenez pulls out. This is hurry up now. Has he realised Ranson's there? And he needs to get a little bit on with it. Alex Hopkins has crashed, unfortunately, as well. He's been off the side of the circuit. So is Mehmet Taski, Bayaden Ayan, Yunus Amal, Ludovic Rancon popped off earlier on. Waskowski and Yukish all unfortunately made an incident. Scotty Taylor's had a big one. He's facing the wrong way as Scotty Taylor. He's got a Dorian Aruro's on a meatball. Alex Hopkins is on a meatball. They've had some moments, but it's all kicking off down towards the back end of this field here. Let's have a look how Scotty ended. Oh, he's already facing the other way. Hold up, Scotty. We want to see what went on before that, mate. As well here. And did he just go in far too hot here? Trying to find a decent camera angle. Comes off. Scotty's in behind. He's going to bump the curb. Yep. And unfortunately for Scotty Taylor, just goes round after hitting that sausage curb. But it is tight up front here. There's a couple of people down the back end. Aruro's got a meatball as well. It's very, very hard, this circuit. It's going to be interesting to see how they all manage this.
Yeah, Justin Fields also had a big incident in the 678 right at the same time as the one we just saw there for Scotty Taylor. But here comes Jimenez right in the slipstream. This could be his moment. This time he's got the inside, and this should be a much more successful move. But look at Ranson closing on the pair of them. He wants to take Falaga as well. But now, crucially, Jimenez has taken the lead. We don't think this is quite going to be enough for the title regardless, but just to end the season with a win would still be a big deal for Tony Jimenez. End the season with a statement of intent. 3 wide further back. Matthew Gracie just holding back.
He's just nearly... Oh, he nearly just hit Ben Goya.
Oh dear.
His own
teammate. A bit early on the brakes.
Yeah, MRP teammates there. Just nearly made contact, but you can see him behind. Carrizosa there as well with Scotty Haddock. Haddock's on the inside, Carrizosa's on the outside. It's all getting very tight down here. I'm not quite sure I'm a lover of this, to be honest. And now there's somebody else pulling out as well. Carrizosa's trying to go too wide. Is this going to work? Oh, you lucky boy. And I can tell you what, Clark Williams, they called facilitating an overtake there, Ed, and I think Williams just facilitated that overtake.
Yeah, I think Williams was just sticking his nose up the inside and hoping something would happen as we see Andy Flint pass Yunus Amal for 5th position just behind Krish Patel, who's starting to lose touch with the top 3. He's about 2nd down on them now. And now you've got to say Falaga looks really under attack now as Ludovic Ranson continues to put the pressure on the young Englishman.
Oh, he's almost practically bump drafting him along there. I wonder if Rancon knows that if he drops out of that draft, him and Falaga are both done. So I'm wondering whether or not it's easier for Ranson to not take the position away and just hope that Falaga can pull them both up to the back of Tony Jimenez, because nothing worse than them two fighting and Jimenez is just going on his bike and saying, thank you very much, I'm off, see you later. So I'm wondering if Ranson's using a little bit of brain matter and realizing that actually it's better he just pushes Falaga along.
Indeed, Ranson 3rd in the standings, of course, but he is still quite a way back when the drop scores are applied behind Jimenez. He's at least 30 or 40 points down, I think, because he's yet to finish in the top 2 this season. Could change that here if he can find a way past Brad Falaga, but Falaga will not give this up without a serious fight. All meanwhile, if these two start focusing on each other, it absolutely plays into Jimenez's hands. So from both Falaga and Ranson's point of views, if they just hold position and try and catch the back of Jimenez, staying in that half a second behind slipstream, that's to both of their benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you are right. But the problem is as well is they're bringing in Krish Patel, they're bringing in Andy Flint, they're bringing in Yunus Amal. All not very far away. Robert Ridgway 1.8 back from them with Denny Corner and Stefan Dodderer tucked in behind him as well. There is a massive train behind Alexei Yukish, Mackenzie, Van Veen, Amos, Taylor, Goyette, Carrizosa, Haddock, Gracie, Clark Williams. Look at these as well. Carrizosa's going for another of the MRP of Ben Goyette. Clark Williams is going after the next MRP as well. There's another MRP in the situation at the same time here. It's all kicking off down here with Richard Van Veen, the MRP of Ben Goyette, the MRP of Matthew Gracie, and MRP are finding themselves in a fight at the moment, and that's for midfield.
Yeah, and here we go. Carrizosa's going to try and get close to the fight going on right in front of him between Taylor and Amos. Eddie Amos has to break early on the outside. Look immediately up the inside. goes Carrizosa, the unstoppable American.
Yeah, he did it there as well. Amos saw him coming. John McKenzie's in pit lane. There was another move out the way there as well. It's MRP again. Ogoya is another one in the front with Richard Van Veen and George Taylor. Carrizosa's going in. Taylor tries to block him off now. They're going to run side by side here as well. Into turn number one. Carrizosa's gone in. It looks like he got him far too hot. No, he got the job done. He got that car stopped and he moved himself another place. He's on like a... Well, he's 15th at the moment for Carrizosa, but he's trying to move himself up here, Ed. All the while, Brad Fulliger, Ludovic Rancon, and Tony Jimenez are darting off down the road.
Yeah, it's almost the exact opposite of what we're just seeing. The top 6, 7, all sort of staying in formation, and you can see Fulliger just starting to lose a tenth or two to Jimenez here. And if you're Ludovic Rancon, are you just thinking, oh, if only I could pass Brad, I could maybe start to mix up the order at the front of this race. Still 21 laps to go, of course, as you see Andrzej Wiskowski getting a yellow flag shown his way on the timing screen there. So I assume he's under a little bit of getting a slowdown for corner cutting, I think, on that.
Yeah, it'll be another slowdown there as well. Obviously, the orange and black is a meatball, the yellow is a slowdown, and the black is a penalty, and that's been coming in as well. We've seen a couple of them this season. Unisamau has got the Andy Maverick Flynn in behind him at the moment, aptly nicknamed 2 weeks ago, I think it was. 3 weeks ago it may have been, because we're never quite sure what we're going to get out of Andy Flynn. It could be one thing, it could be the other. We called him a Maverick, but now Ludovic Rancon is going to make mincemeat of Brad Fulliger. Is this the move he's been looking for? It is. He wants to get through, and now him and Fulliger have got to work together. Jimenez gap out in front at the moment, though, Ed, just coming up to 7 tenths.
Yeah, Fulliger superb in qualifying over that single lap, but he just does not seem to be able to have much of an answer so far. But I think you're right, his best chance is really to stay tucked in behind. As Dodderer getting a slowdown in 9th as well, which is going to hurt him ever so slightly and stop him from catching up to Denny Cornu, who's right behind Robert Ridgway in that fight for P7. You can just see in the background there's Denny Cornu, who started just outside the top 10, has been slowly gaining places, the Frenchman for Unity Racing. And yeah, Ridgway is not going to be particularly cooperative here. He's going to try and hold them up for as long as possible.
Yeah, I've known Robert for a while. I've never ever seen him once roll over and get his belly tickled. I'm going to find that even harder here for Denny Cornu to try and have a go. The Unity Racing boy there once more. I just tried to find out why Carrizosa was so far down. On the grid,
black flag for Dodderer.
Yeah, he's got a penalty there as well for Stefan Dodderer, and I'm just wondering if that could be for speeding in the pit lane, because he is there behind the wall, and I'm wondering if that's why he's got it. Carrizosa jumped to pit lane right at a green flag as well, so he missed the start. He had to leave the pits and didn't start from his grid place. That's why I couldn't work out why he was down 6 places at one point, which is what he is now, because he missed the start. Denny Cornu having a go at Ridgway. Ridgway still managing to hold on. Through the Parabolica they go on the run down into turn number 1. Rancon now not making inroads on him, and as he's 8 tenths back, that's due to the fact that Fulliger's running side by side with him.
Yeah, here we go. Brad Fulliger gets a good one. You saw him setting that up on the run out of Ascari into Parabolica. He was just peeking out, and this time he makes the move before they get to that braking zone for Variante Alta. Also a little bit of side-by-side behind. I think that was Cornu again challenging Ridgway. You can just see them coming up now. But yeah, now Brad Fulliger back into second. But the gap to Jimenez is still about the same then. Jimenez looking more and more like he's slowly starting to increase his grip, increase his stranglehold on this race. Meanwhile, as you say, Justin Carrizosa actually loses a place to Wiskowski, interestingly. So his charge up the field from the pit lane to 30th is halted. The big gainer in this race is Alexei Yukic, who's gained 18. I think he actually got past Wiskowski, sorry. So it's Yukic that's gained around, not Carrizosa losing a place. He's still 13th, of course. Yeah, Yukic, the big gain, as we see. Oh, briefly, I think Fulliger's taken the lead from Jimenez here. So mistake from Tony Jimenez. Look at him on the inside. So clearly he's gone well wide out through Lesmo 2 and lost 2 positions.
Well, this is where Fulliger got it here as well. But I think, as you say, I think it stems back here. I'm going to try and do something because I've got a funny feeling it does stem back further than this for Tony Jimenez. I'm wondering if there was a slowdown coming on the exit here, and that's why he's... Oh, big snap. Big snap for Tony, and that's what caused this situation he's in now. Third from Ludovic Rancon. Tony Jimenez there, but watch this draft from Jimenez. He's going to get a double draft here, Ed. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets both of them at one point.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all either. But yeah, Brad Fulliger says the fastest lap. He cannot believe his luck right now. But look at them all bunching up. He's creating a big hole in the air. And round the outside attempts Ludwig Ransom. But Tony Jimenez breaks very, very early. Decides not to get involved at this point. Going 3 wide on lap 8 of 26 is probably not the most prudent or sensible decision. Still quite a way to go. But you can see Patel as well is slowly starting to get back involved in this as well. Still a big gap to Yunus Amal in 5th, 1.8 seconds down the road, but it could all change. Meanwhile, we see Richard Van Veen is going into the pits. I think he has hit trouble as well and dropped down to the top 15. There's like them all flirting with the gravel at the Della Roggia chicane. And we saw him flying over the curb and wrestling for control in the exit of Lesmo 2. Is he going to have a better exit this time around to put the pressure on Ranson and Fulliger? The problem is they're both tucked together, of course, James, is that it's harder for Jimenez to get through because Ranson will be getting the tow from the back of Brad.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a bit of a draft train at the moment. Stefan Dodderer went off, and I think he had a drama, and that's why he's ended up back in pit lane. Oh, did he have a drama? I think he's had some form of drama because he's just pulled over and stopped. Or I'm wondering if that black flag was due to the fact that he didn't get the slowdown off previously and ended up with a penalty. But coming into Parabolica now as well.
Was it Dodderer we saw flying into the air through Della Roggia on the first? That was certainly a yellow car, but that could be quite a few, to be fair. So now Brad Fulliger under real pressure here. You can see Patel gaining a couple of tenths here and there, but the top 3 still very much have got the pace to pull away from the rest of the pack. And here comes Jimenez. This time he senses opportunity, but Brad Fulliger pulls across to block it. And again, Jimenez is going to have to back out. And it's a replay of the previous lap. Ranson tries to go around the outside. Brad Fulliger extends the corner and holds on to the lead there. So it's very, very tactical so far. And all this bunching together allows Patel to claw his way right back in. Yeah,
Chris Patel's just joined onto the back. Yunus Amal there as well. George Taylor is having a nice little bit of ding-dong with Scotty Haddock because they're coming into turn number 1 as well. Taylor there from the GT Racing gets past Haddock. Haddock didn't really put much of a fight up with that, I'm not going to lie. And there is George Taylor making his way. But now, Rich Patel's on the back of this bundle here, Ed, as well. He's looking to make his way forward as best he can.
Yeah, let's hope it's a bundle of fun. But Krish Patel has sort of been pacing himself, waiting for his moment to arrive, hasn't it? And that mistake from Jimenez has brought him back into trying to put a car further back that he can get a nice bit of slipstream from. And that has made things not easier for him, but it's opened the door. He still has to make use of it if he wants to pull off a shock and win this race. As Brad Fulliger makes a huge error and gets a yellow flag through the Ascari chicane. They're going to run 3 wide, James. This could end in disaster. Jimenez sneaks his way through the middle and opportunistically retakes the lead.
Yeah, Tony's back out in front. Fulliger's got rid of his slowdown that he had, and Ludwig Rancon sitting in second place. Now with Chris Patel in the background. Patel's going to be coming at him once more. Down the final, through the final corner they go. Chris Patel is in this battle, but everybody else is in here as well. You can see Fulliger, Ranson. He's going to tuck in behind Jimenez. He's going to get a draft. He's going to pull on the inside. Oh. That's grass. That's grass. Jimenez gave you too much room. Jimenez has got it run around the outside now. He's just giving him way too much room on that final, on that start-finish straight. And he didn't even have to close the door for Tony Jimenez. He could have just put that car to right at the edge of the track, and that would have been nowhere for Ranson to go apart from back on the track and across the grass.
Oh, it's not done yet, though. Fulliger side by side through Curva Grande, and he's going to be ahead before they even get to that second chicane. Fulliger up to P2 then, so it looked to me like Jimenez, a little bit like he was about to squeeze Ranson into the wall, and then he, I think as he said, overreacted as a result and was really cautious through the first chicane, left a little bit more room than he really needed as Patel, gets past him. Jimenez has made another mistake here.
He's got a slowdown here for Krish Patel, so he even needs to get that off somehow, somewhere. There you go. I think he's going to bring it be into the back with Yunus Amal as well. Amal's now on the back of him. Patel's still not got rid of it. There we go. It's just cleared for Krish Patel. And that is the problem. He got that run over Tony Jimenez. He got through, but he was still carrying the slowdown as well. and then he almost just nearly missed it, but Yunus Amal's going to go at him through the Carver Parabolic. Could we go for Yunus Amal? Is he going to make it past? Nope, slots back in once more and does not get through this time around. I think this is going to be a run down into turn number 1, but it is looking like Jimenez is losing contact with Brad Fulliger, losing contact with Ranson, but we'll find out how quick the draft is here. It's whether or not Tony can even bring himself back into this.
Yeah, the problem is now he's still got Patel to deal with, having got the slowdown out of the way. And really, Ranson is leading this race, having been the only one of our leaders not to really make a mistake so far. And all of these trading of mistakes is allowing Patel, Amal, and even our own resident maverick, Andy Flint, to get involved in this. Robert Ridgway, another second in arrears. It's not inconceivable this could become a 7-way fight for the win. As we see, Wiskowski getting into big trouble here and having to enter the pit lane.
Yeah, he just drives into pit lane, not quite sure what he's done or where on that one for Andre, but we'll see and see if we can find something. I can't find something at the moment, but here we go once again. Is this going to bring the Maverick himself? Is the Top Gun going to go after Yunus Amal? Well, he's got to, but he's got 1.3 seconds to make up, and his problem is he ain't got no draft. He's got 1.2 now as well, but he's got to try and close on 4 people that are all drafted off each other here, and it's going to be a little bit of a hit and miss whether or not he's going to be able to get on. But I think this is going to be a run again for the likes of Rancon, for the likes of Vinegar, for the likes of Jimenez. Jimenez, though, 1 point just broken that second barrier. Is this going to be an end for Tony Jimenez here with Rancon and Fulliger battling this out for the lead?
Yeah, well, you saw Brad just pulling out to the inside, trying to scare Ranson off the road, and also just knowing he can tuck back into the slipstream and set up a move into the first chicane. But that second margin, you're right, it is keeping Jimenez away from these two, and meaning that he's got to worry much more about Patel, who has another decent run, pulls to the inside. I think we're about to see a move for third position as Krish Patel has now got the inside into the first chicane.
Yeah, and through he goes on Tony Jimenez. Jimenez now with Yunus Amal. Tony's going backwards quicker than he's going forwards. Both him and Patel got a bit of a slide on coming out of turn number 1 there. So that's opened the gap just above a second again. Fulliger and Ranson. Ranson sitting there saying, please leave me alone. Let me run my race and we will pull away here. Fulliger's there going, nah, I want to win some. Niggas to that, let's carry on. So these two are having a ding-dong, and now that gap's down below a second again, and that only took 1 chicane.
Okay, I thought you said something a little bit questionable there, but never mind. Brad Fulliger closing on Ranson again, and as you say, Ranson just dipping a wheel into the gravel at De La Roggia chicane as well. So clearly, Brad is putting him under much pressure as possible. This is allowing Krish Patel now to close within 6/10. Crucial, that is dragging him and with him again. Ranson just lazily rolls out to the middle of the road and spins out completely at Ascari, and that is going to allow Patel into the lead because Fulliger got held up in all of that, and Ranson, he has blown it. So everybody's made mistakes apart from Patel, and Patel now leads, but how much longer? Here comes Jimenez.
Yeah, they're going at it side by side again. It's almost going to be 3 wide. Fulliger thought about it, nowhere to go. Patel in the lead, Jimenez in second, Fulliger somewhere just about in third, I think, with the next Unity racing a Yunus Amal. Let's have a look at Ludovic Rancon and see how he lost it. Was there contact or was it on? No, he hit the sausage curb. He hit the sausage curb.
Not to hit him as he was spinning in front of him, though.
Unfortunately for Ludovic Rancon, he hit the curb. Jimenez goes through. Oh, contact in the back. They're tripping over each other now. And look who's here as well. Tom Cruise in disguise of Andy Maverick Flynn, closing in on the back of him now. And he's now within that second gap. Are we going to say Ridgeway get there?
Oh, I think it's entirely possible, but look at this. Amal and Patel side by side to De La Roggia, and it is Amal that backs out there. So Krish Patel is going to have another chance to attack Brad Fulliger, and Jimenez, despite making a couple of mistakes, is now back exactly where he would want to be and looking to take advantages. We are at half distance in this race, still another 13 laps to go, and Jimenez, he's not out of the woods yet.
Oh, big old move for Yunus Amal.
Amal.
Stopped.
Oh dear.
Stopped and out of the race. Not quite sure for why for Yunus Amal.
It's a bit like Dodder's incident where he just came to a stop. Maybe some kind of hardware issue.
Yeah, let me see if I can find out what's going on that one. See, but unfortunately there for these guys, Unity Racing and no more, apart from Denny Corner, who is repping there all on his own, sitting in 6th place. But him and F again, Brad Fulliger and Chris Patel fighting out for the lead.
Yeah, Ludovic Ransom, by the way, still going in 9th, incredibly, despite that lengthy spin into the gravel. That was 14 seconds longer than his previous lap. But yeah, he's about 1.7 seconds behind Mehmet Emir Tassi as we cut back to the lead fight then, and you can see him and F again under pressure from Fulliger, who survived that attack from Patel, has now swung to the inside, but he's a little bit too far back, I think, to put the move on him and F into the first chicane, the Variante Alta, and it's our top 3 starting to break away from Andy Flint again. So Flint now more worried, I think, about Ridgway behind at this phase. Then he needs all these 3 to trip over each other. I think Cornu disappearing has played against him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cornu disappeared? No,
no,
it was no.
Amal,
sorry, yeah. The other Unity driver.
Yeah, Amal disappeared off the side of the circuit. There's a couple of people out. You see at the bottom, Eunice Amal's out. Stefan Dodder is out.
Justin Fields is out now as well.
Fields is gone as well. So there's a couple dropping out at the moment. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But this is why Justin Fields is out. He's running down the ground. I'm not quite sure where you're going, son. I wonder if you can't see.
Doesn't look like he can steer particularly well. He's using the barrier to oh no, he's turning into the barrier there.
He can't see. He cannot see on that, and I'm wondering if that is VR issues for Justin Fields, because you don't generally run to the right hand side of the track, stop, jump back to pit lane to try and see. But Tony Jimenez now under attack from Fulliger, who's got Patel in behind. Flint's lost time, 1.6 back. Then we've got Ridgway in behind that, and Denny Cordu, Julio Palacio, Mehmet Taski. There's another Unity of Ludovic Rancon, but he's under attack from Alexei Yukish at the moment as these guys continue to fight into the Parabolica one more time here. Lap 15, 9 to go. And at the moment, is Tony Jimenez going to hang on to this?
Oh, well, he's certainly going to have to fight. Fulliger looking a little bit closer than the previous lap. Tucks in for even more slipstream, but he's going to stay and hold station, and that is going to open things up for Patel as well. So is this going to turn into a situation where you don't want to make a risky move until the last lap? Because otherwise you could just leave yourself exposed and make a big hole in the air for the cars behind. We've seen a lot of races just turn into that kind of battle. Particularly Portimao lends itself to that because it's another track with a big long straight where you can slipstream each other down. But yeah, Patel is starting to just play this a little bit smarter than he was before, and now he's just following Brad around and waiting for the opportunity to again present itself. The more pressure they put on him and F, the better chance both of them have got for stealing the win, as Ridgway now has turned the magnets on. He's right all over the back of Andy Flint in this fight for 4th place.
Yeah, Flint now under attack from Ridgway. They're dropping away. They're 2 seconds back. This fighting is not good. They need to talk to each other or not on this one. And Flint still defending quite rapidly, coming into Ascari now out the other side. But it's going to be Ridgway's opportunity. Let's see, you can see from the 3 up front as well. You can see that neither of them are moving at this moment in time. They're just about looking to pull out, and Robert Ridgway tucked in, not going anywhere either. So Ridgway not thinking about the move. But now we've got this long start-finish line. Is Chris Patel thinking to move over Brad Fulliger? Eunice Samal front wing damage, he says in YouTube chat.
Yeah, there we go. So that explains his issues. But you saw actually not a great exit from Patel, as again, Brad forces Tony Jimenez to get defensive into that first chicane. The more Jimenez is looking behind him, the harder it is to pull away. Round the outside, by the way, goes Ridgway. He did look a little bit quicker than Andy Flint. So now the shoe is on the other foot, so to speak. It's Andy Flint in the SRF that's going to get a lovely tow, as we see Ranson being overtaken by Alexei Yukish, who's gained 20 positions from his starting spot, but he's not got the move secured yet. Ranson gets the better exit, as there's a bit of wheel spin for Yukish, for the man trying to defend that 9th position, and surely Ranson is going to go clean around the outside through the Curva Grande and get the inside for De La Roggia.
Yeah, he is now as well. Ranson's going to have that one job done for the Unity Racing there. It avoids what he did first time from that sausage curb, but it's the next chicane here as well, because Yukish comes back at him straight away. Straight through for Alexei Yukish there. Justin Fields had monitor issues. I told you he couldn't see. That is not normal. You don't just veer off. Ridgway having a go at Flint again. And at this time, it's going to be one of them occasions where I think Flint and Ridgway are just going to swap places backwards and forwards. There's also Yukish and Ranson. Ranson still managing to hold on, but up front, Jimenez, Fulliger and Patel are getting closer.
Yeah, Ridgway did match the lap time of Jimenez up front, and that's actually slightly quicker, 142.185 to 142.197 for Jimenez. And Patel, I think, is the fastest of all of them, getting that double toe. But here comes Brad Fulliger again. He is much closer than before. This time he pulls out to the left-hand side. He's going to go the long way around and snatch the lead then with 9 laps left to go. And Patel is also going to try and closing up. Is Tony Jimenez going to try and counter-attack? He's just going to play it safe. Then no need to panic just yet. He's still got a chance to get his own back once again on Brad Fulliger. Yeah,
you can see Jimenez now with Patel tucked in behind him. Flint and Ridgway 2.6 seconds back. They've carried on having their own little ding-dong. So unfortunately for them guys, Yukish has lost some places down here. But I've got it
in for Yukish.
Yeah. Turn 1, he's going to be hard on the accelerator.
Oh. With a Ranson, he spun out of the way. Quite literally.
Yeah, unfortunately there as well. Adam Townsma, Clark Williams running side by side as well down into turn 1. Townsma goes through, takes the position away from Williams, but this battle up front is not rescinding whatsoever. Fulliger, Jimenez and Patel, and the laps are going off thick and fast at the moment here, Ed, with 17 gone and only 9 to go.
They all sort of tried to get information there, either side of the track, with Jimenez just trying to go to the outside, and then both Fulliger and Patel trying to give each other a toe to work against Tony Jimenez almost in a kind of pincer movement here. They're doing it again.
Yeah, kind of stopping him coming here as well. It's covering off this at the moment. And this is not something that you see very often in motor racing unless you watch Speedway, where the two team riders, if they're riding together in 1 and 2, will ride side by side on the racetrack, or on the oval, I should say, to stop them coming at each other. But now Fulliger out in front. Jimenez is going to go for it again. Fulliger can't move now as well. Jimenez well alongside. Patel, you're not going to get there. Sitting behind Jimenez, he takes it. And Jimenez now back out in the front, as is Robert Ridgway, who just passed Andy Flint, and that gaps out to 2.5 seconds. So then really not doing each other any favours, sitting in 4th and 5th, having a right little ding-dong.
Well, their best chance really is to try and give each other the slipstream and just keep swapping positions liberally and not holding each other up and costing each other time by getting too defensive there. Look at them going side by side, though, as they go into the Della Roggia chicane. Who's going to get there first? It should be Ridgway. It is Ridgway, and the American holds on. American's 3rd, 4th, and 5th in this race at the moment. And by the way, speaking of Andy Flint, if he is Maverick, does that make his teammate Adam Townsma goose, I guess, as Townsma loses out to Clark Williams in the fight for 17th, as Ranson has gotten another slowdown.
I don't actually know, you know, I never really thought about that. Could Adam Townsma be goose?
I'm running out of Top Gun characters.
Yeah, I don't know how Adam feels about that as well.
Maybe Iceman instead.
Yeah, that might be a little bit better, or Wingman. You know, whatever he is going to want to be called. I'm sure he doesn't want to be a goose. But then again, who knows from Adam Townsma as they continue on up the front, still exchanging places. Ranson still with the slowdown.
Yep, and oh, look at this, a little wide from Jimenez as he turns into the Parabolica, and he's just trying to prevent Brad Fulliger from getting the exit that he wants here. The laps, as you say, counting down, 7 to go. Ranson has to let Carrizoa through, and now this is where Krish Patel is going to pick his moment to go up the inside of not just Brad Fulliger, but is he going to break really late to try and challenge Jimenez as well into that first chicane? He's got the inside. Oh, superbly judged there. Jimenez and Fulliger so worried about each other, they didn't even see Patel until it was far too late to do anything about it.
Yeah, Patel goes through, retakes the lead. Carrizosa's just gone through as well. Well, where is he actually? He's a little bit further back than that. Oh, he's side by side with... Oh, and there he goes.
Oh, Justin took a little bit too much curve, to put it mildly there. I think Yukish is going to slipstream his way past him as well if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's going to have a go. Alexi now tucked in behind Justin Carrizosa as these guys continue on. Yukish is going to go up the inside, job done. And I believe he should go through, which is what he did do there once again. Adam Townsend, Clark Williams, deja vu, lap after lap on lap 19 as these guys swap positions going down. Oh, Adam, no they don't. They smash into each other. Williams has lost his wing. The MRP of Ben Goyette just, well, lucky enough, managed to stop. But poor old, oh, I'm sure Williams' wing fell off. What was that? It did.
Yeah, well, certainly took a bit of a whack, but he seems to have somehow survived and is trying to go around the outside and hold on to that position. But Goyette is sizing up, trying to put the pressure on Talsma. But yeah, I think poor Clark Williams didn't really have anywhere to go when Talsma spun in front of him. I think, dare I say, goose-like driving there.
Oh, don't use any DMs, Adam. Direct them to Ed, all right? He's in the Discord. You can direct them to him. Brad,
I'm just joking. You can be Iceman, don't worry.
I'm sure he's happy about that. Jimenez sweeps to the right-hand side. He's going to try and go around the outside of Patel. Patel trying to put it on the inside here. Nope. Jimenez through again. 6 laps to go. I don't think this is going to be the end of this situation. I think they are going to be swapping constantly.
Yeah, and Brad Fulliger, who was leading a short time ago, now being shuffled back to third. This is where he needs to get a move on, because if Patel and Jimenez are disputing this race alone, then that really is going to take him out of the picture. If they're giving each other a slipstream and he starts to fall behind into the clutches of Flint and Ridgway, who are continuing to swap, but they are falling another second behind, as you can see in the background.
Dropping backwards, that's because these guys just won't stop fighting. They stopped fighting, they might have an opportunity to move forward, especially with the front three constantly going at each other as well. So, you know, Robert Ridgway, Andy Flint, think about it and see what you can do here. I don't think they're going to gain forward though, because I think these guys are just way too fast. Chris Patel sat in here once again, having a nice little bit of a ding-dong with himself and Tony Jimenez and Brad Fulliger, because they will not stop this situation. If Fulliger gets the win, this will be his best position of the season, having finished second at Mugello. So Fulliger there needs to get the win on this one. Now, something is telling me that this is Chris Patel's best finishing position. It will
certainly
be
of the season.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, if he finishes second, this would be the highest one. I don't know where his pace has been, though, considering he's been in 40th, 12th, 9th, 26th, 23rd, 29th, and 25th. And now all of a sudden we're battling for the lead.
Yeah, there we go. As he snatches it back off of Jimenez, and Fulliger as well, not to run into the back of the Spaniard there. But yeah, Krish Patel, who he didn't qualify 4th or 5th or something like that. He's really found those, it wasn't by a whole lot that he missed out on pole, but he has really found something. A couple of mistakes have opened the door, but look, Jimenez gets a great run around the outside. Is he going to risk it on the inside into Del Roger? This is going to be a closing door unless he breaks late just like that and is able to neatly slow his way through, but that compromises his exit and allows Krish Patel to get up the inside into Lesmo number 1 and slowing each other through back and forth. This is keeping Brad Fulliger in play. They all nurse tap into the gravel there.
Yeah, all 3 of them there vacating the track primarily for a brief second. Lap 21 of 26. Krish Patel, Tony Jimenez, Brad Fulliger going at each other. Flint and Ridgway still 3 seconds back. We've got Ben Goyette, Koji Ito, Clark Williams. They're having a nice little ding-dong. George Taylor's got a meatball flag, and that is for primarily probably doing this. Nope, I think, yes, that.
Oh!
And I'm wondering
so
if there was contact there. Yeah, I
definitely.
No, there wasn't, because he disappears on me. There.
Ah, right. Does he just reappear right in front of the MRP?
Yep, you can't see. Can't see. And I've got a funny feeling that was why. I think George disappeared, come back in the MRP car, give him a knock there, partly due to the fact he couldn't see. So, unfortunately, that's the way it was. Jimenez goes through on Patel again. We start lap 22.
Yeah, Jimenez did well to get that slowed down in time. Looked like it was about to slide out on him, but well controlled there. And Krish Patel now trying to tuck into the slipstream. Surely he's not going to try and go up the inside out of Curva Grande going into the... Oh, but he attempts to, switches back to the outside. And again, that's smart from Jimenez. Knows the inside is the line to have. And he can just force him to the exterior. Brad Fulliger almost puts his nose in it in that Ridgway racing car. but he is just waiting for his moment to come. We are seeing Flint and Ridgway slowly getting a couple of tenths, but it's not quite going to be enough with 4 laps to go for them to really become a factor here. If something goes wrong for one of these top 3, I could see Flint or Ridgway maybe stealing a podium, but that would require something quite spectacular to happen. And look at this, Fulliger gets a good exit on the run up towards Ascari, keeping the pressure on Patel, and that takes the pressure off Jimenez ever so slightly.
Yeah, Jimenez escapes there as well. So Stefan Dodderer got a penalty, then he had damage. He was losing lap times. It was 0.5 to 0.7 per lap. Then the penalty would have put him all the way down the order, and it would have been a long 20 laps. So he decided, actually, I'd rather put my slippers on with my blanket over my knees and go sleep. Oh, there we go. Stefan Dodderer, that's what happened to him. And we know Fields had monitor issues, and we know Yunus Amau had damage. So all in all, we've got a rough idea of what happened to the 3 guys towards the bottom there as well. I'm not quite sure, however, what's just happened to John McKenzie, because unfortunately,
Fulliger going for second. Fulliger slipstreams his way past Patel, and there we go. So that's why the gap Jimenez had there was absolutely crucial. Stop Brad Fulliger making a double move there, but if Brad can get his head down, second would still match his best result of the season, but there's a win up for grabs, and as it was at the start of this race, it's turning into Jimenez versus Fulliger. Patel is starting to lose momentum here.
Yeah. Is Patel run his race? Is Ridgway going to still keep going with Andy Flint? Well, we're going to find out. Or have they spoken to each other and realised actually the gap's come down from half a second because they're not fighting, down to 2.5. So this could still be a 5-car front for the win if these guys could get this down a little bit now, a little bit more. It's down to below 2.5. Fulliger, however, with Patel, with Jimenez, as you say, opening up a little bit. Fulliger's trying to go with him, but has Patel got the pace to stay with him? That's the question.
The other question is who has saved their tyres the best at this phase of the race. We're getting late in now, and those who've been really battling hard are going to start feeling the pain of that, whereas those who've kept their powder a little drier have maybe let a few moves go and sort of not driven the car quite so hard through the chicanes are going to start to feel the benefits of that as those around them struggle a little bit more. So those who are more sympathetic to their tyres might be able to get better exits at this phase of the race, but only a handful of laps left to go, and Fulliger is really starting to challenge Jimenez here, and this is where the stakes really start to build here. Jimenez desperately wants to get as close as he can, at least for pride, in that fight against Lee Aberdeen. Fastest lap of the race for Fulliger. He pulls out to the right, and he's going for the lead, James. Yeah,
Fulliger's going to take that inside line. Jimenez knows it's not done. There's going to be another 2 laps of these guys, and there's still time for them to do this again and again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just non-stop backwards and forwards here. I don't even know if Jimenez needs to make the move, really. Does he need to have a go at Fulliger on the, well, I'll say on this lap, and there he goes trying to go around the outside. So yeah, that puts claim to what I said.
I think he's just trying to remind Brad that he's still there and to not give him a moment's rest, because the more pressure you put on someone, the more likely it is they will make a mistake. And we did see one from Brad earlier under pressure while he was leading, although he's done very, very well just to keep his head. And a little mistake there through Lesmo 1 allows Jimenez to get close again. So exactly what I was saying. You've got to just keep the pressure on, even if it's not a realistic overtaking opportunity. It could become one a bit down the line. You just got to make your presence very much felt and rely on the spatial awareness of the other driver. And these 3 have done a very good job, actually, of not bumping into each other too much.
Yeah, as have these 2, because they're now down. I was back out at 2.7 for Andy Flint and Robert Ridgway there again. So see what goes on. Koji Ito is now having to go at Adam Townsmat. Where did Clark? Hold on. I think there's been something before that. Clark Williams, because all of a sudden he's lost a bunch of time to Adam Townsma as they guys were scrapping it out. Williams is 22nd. Townsma's now in 17th.
Jimenez going for the lead.
I don't know why he would want to be doing that on the penultimate lap.
Well, I think that's just the way it's worked out, though, isn't it? Because of the move the previous lap, he had that Brad giving a massive hole in the air that he could exploit, and why not, really? And the thing that Jimenez has been trying to do is build enough of a gap to stop Brad Fulliger challenging him. But of course, with 1 more lap to go, there is that danger. He, as you say, he's going to find himself a little bit exposed. So Does Tony Jimenez tactically let Brad Fulliger through? If he does that, there's the risk Patel is easily going to breeze by as well. So it's not the sort of thing you can judge. If it was just the two of them on their own, then maybe. But Patel catching back up has limited Tony's options here. He's got to push like crazy and keep that distance. Oh, as he absolutely risks it again for Lesmo too. And now Fulliger has actually got to worry more about Patel behind him. So this could actually play in Tony's favor.
Now, I'm wondering if this is going to happen. If Fulliger's going to get him on the way down to Parabolica, and Jimenez is going to get him on the run down to turn number 1. But then again, they're both then left open for Patel to come out. So I don't know how this is going to end. Obviously, this is live. We have not recorded this or watched this in any shape or form. But this could be a very interesting ending on who's going to come out where, especially with Fulliger going in deep into Parabolica.
Yeah, Fulliger got a bit sucked in there, and now you can tell Jimenez deliberately giving the toe to Patel instead of Brad Fulliger. So starting the final lap, it will be Jimenez, Patel, Fulliger, with Ridgway just holding back Flint at the moment. But I think Andy's about to slipstream his way past, back into pole position. Round the outside goes Patel, going for the lead, but late on the brakes up the inside goes Jimenez. Is that going to be enough to hold on? Patel keeps his nose in. He's got the inside line, but he doesn't have the best exit, and it's going to be side by side through the Curva Grande.
Yeah, final lap of the race now. Jimenez is going to hold on just about, but I think Patel's going to send it. Fulliger's got nowhere to go. He's got one side, one the other. Patel going to go in again. Is Fulliger going to try and make it through? Patel, is he going to send it in? Nope, he settles in behind. Half a lap, give or take, for these gentlemen left to go. Tony Jimenez in, Chris Bertilla. Oh, Flint and Ridgway. Oh,
boys. Ridgway knocked him around there, unfortunately, and that's going to give a place to Danny Cornu.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not really sure
what
happened
Robert
there.
tried to get out of that one. He was going around the outside. There was a closing gap. Oh, he's heavy on the brakes there. And, yeah, just tapped him around. Wasn't really intentional there. Not that it would have been anyway.
Coming in now. 1 quarter to go. Tony Jimenez leads the way. We think that he's going to finish second in the championship. Chris Patel, Brad Fulliger. Chris is going to get his highest finishing position of the season. Fulliger, if he finishes in second, will get the, it will be an equal finishing position, his highest in second place. But it's going to be Tony Jimenez come around that corner. He's going to take the win here. Fulliger's going to hold on to second. The line's there. Tony Jimenez takes the victory. Fulliger second. Patel gets his highest finishing position. Robert Ridgway is going to come over in a questionable 4th there after him and Andy Flint made contact as well. Further back, there comes Flint again. He's here. And he's got Alexei Yukish. Flint goes over the line. Yukish Carrizosa there as well. Wiskowski and Richie Robinson are having a right little ding-dong going into Lesmo too. And unfortunately now that's kind of peeled out. So that's the end of that one. As is everybody else is pretty much coming over the line in single file there as well. Great racing from these guys, and well done to Tony Jimenez. We believe that does wrap up second, if my maths is correct. But I think it is Lee Aberdeen winning again here for this championship. And, well, to be honest, for the man that's barely finished out of second place all season, you can't really say he doesn't deserve it.
Nope, he knew the drop score round was going in, that he didn't have to attend every race, that he could miss 2 and still win the championship. And it takes a lot of confidence to pull that off. And yeah, of course, he's done a great job this season. He's, how many times has he won this championship now? At least 3 times now, I think, possibly more. But yeah, the Scotsman, a real force. But full credit to Tony Jimenez today. That was a real challenge from Fulliger, Patel. And we can't forget about Rance. Oh, as Clark Williams got tapped around right at the end of the race. And then, not in retaliation, but as he was spinning, collected his the driver that assaulted him.
Yeah, Wiskowski goes up, hits him. Williams goes round, and then his exhaust hits Wiskowski. And they both end up facing the wrong way. But who came out on top? That's going to be the question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats, because we're going to bring you up the race results right now. And it is going to be Tony Jimenez, winner, chicken dinner, Brad Fulliger, Chris Patel, Robert Ridgway, Danny Cornu, Mehmet Taskier, Julio Palacio. We can see the burnouts taking place here as well, which is no surprise. Again, the end of the season burnouts for IGP, but we're just going to leave it with Danny Cornu, Mehmet Taskier, Palacio, Ransom, Flint, Yukish, Carrizosa, Scotty Haddock, Burden and Scott Taylor and Matthew Gracie. I'm going to give you the top 15 because these guys aren't doing their end of season burnouts as they normally just do. Oh, Robert Ridgway ain't. He's just going wherever he's going. But there's Mehmet Taski, Tony Jimenez there as well. It looks like that's one of the MRP boys, I think, are going for it. As Eddie Amos is going for a drive somewhere. Not quite sure where you're off to. Oh, there he comes. There's Eddie Amos. Oh, round he goes. Trying to do a burnout and ended up facing the wrong way.
So he's looking for the safety track there.
No, I'm not quite sure what's going on. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring up the end to this season. Another one done. And as always, it will be returning. Don't forget, if you want to get yourselves involved, join the Discord as always. So much appreciated on that one. I've been JP. I've been alongside Mr. Edward Hunter here this evening. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track next season. Good night.